Hello, and welcome back to another episode of another Cozy Morning podcast. I am Michaela, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be back. We're in a new location. We're in my bedroom. I thought my bedroom is more cozy than where I was having the podcast before. And as much as I would have loved to keep doing it there, when I made my video for my video editing business, I sat here and this was my setup and I was like, I think that's how I want my podcast to look. So now we get to just chit chat in the morning time about being productive, about all the things, and I'm so excited. So welcome. Disclaimer, I have my phone here that is showing me my camera just so I can see, make sure everything's looking the way it's supposed to look. And I also have my iPad here. I always have my iPad. I always have my notes, but today I might need them a little bit more than usual just because I wrote these all a couple of weeks ago and just kind of quickly glanced at it this morning, but it's all good. We are going to get through this together. So we have 2 parts today for the Cozy Girls Guide to Productivity. It is part 4 and part 5. So we are finishing out the series today, and I'm extremely excited because I loved this series and I wanted to get it out to you guys, but I'm also ready for you guys to know some more stuff, and I have more stuff coming and I'm so excited. As far as series go, I want you guys to let me know what you guys are wanting and what's going to help you be productive, what's going to help you in your entrepreneur journey, in your work from home journey. Let me know those things so that way I can do what the people want, do what the people want. Okay, so part 4, we are talking about task batching, and I am excited to talk about this because I honestly believe that this has saved me so much time as an entrepreneur, but also just in life in general, and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's get into it. What is task batching? So task batching is the best thing that you're ever going to do. It is where you take a group of similar tasks and you put them together. Basically, in one time block, in one day, in 1 week, you put all of these tasks that you have to do together. Not only is it going to save you time, but you're also not going to be like all over the place with your brain being like everywhere, being like, I thought we were supposed to do this, or I need to go back and do this, or whatever. It's just like, in this blocked off time, these are the tasks that are at hand. You can kind of think of it as meal prepping. So like Monday, or some people do it Sunday, or some people do it Saturday, they meal prep all of their food on those days for the entire week. So that way, when it actually comes time to eating, all they have to do is warm the food up or do a little things here and there. And it's not this whole extensive meal that they have to cook every single day. So for an example, instead of checking your email 10 times a day sporadically, you can check it in the morning, 30 minutes. First thing you do when you start work or your tasks for the day, you have 30 minutes where you're going through emails, you're responding. Then you go to check your email again, 30 minutes like in the evening or right before you leave work or whatever. This is going to help you not feel so overwhelmed and constantly feeling like you have to check your email. That way you also will get the emails in between hours, I guess, if that makes sense. So like if you start work at 9 and you end at 5 and you get your email, or you check your email and you respond, and they respond within the time that you're working, you can respond to them before you clock off. But if they respond afterwards, next day, it kind of gives you balance in your personal life and your work life as well. So why is task batching a cozy girl's best friend? There's a lot of different reasons, and I want to get into all of them. So the first one is it's less overwhelming and there's more focus. So it keeps your brain from feeling messy. It keeps it from feeling like overwhelmed or that you just have this unending task list. You're not trying to do everything at once. You are tackling a bunch of tasks. You're focused on one type of task at a time. Second thing, you are not wasting time. It saves you so much time by doing this. You're not jumping back and forth between tasks or transitioning. If we go back to the meal prepping example, on, let's say, Sunday, this is when somebody meal preps for their week. They take out all the dishes, all the pans and pots and spatulas and everything they need to use, and they wash all those dishes when they're done. Going out throughout the week, you don't have as many dishes to do. Do you know how much time you're going to save if you don't have that many dishes to do? Or if you're like me and you're a content creator and you have to set up a light, a mic, your camera, instead of taking it all down, think of all the things, all of the content ideas that you would do sitting right here, right in the spot where you have all your setup, and record all of it there. So you're not having to take it up and down. Even if you wanted to like change your outfit. Like if I was like, okay, I'm going to record 2 podcasts today instead of 1, which would be really smart, but I'm not doing that. I could then, when I was done with this one, go change my outfit, redo my hair, and we can record a whole nother podcast. And I didn't have to take this up and down twice. It is a time saver, y'all. It is really a time saver. The third thing is that it boosts creativity. When you batch, you get into a creative flow, into a creative state where you're like, okay, this is just working out. If I was sitting here and I was like, I'm going to give myself 4 hours to film content right here, I could just be recording, I could be coming up with ideas, all the things, just sitting here and talking to the camera. And it would really help with my creativity, because I could see what works, I could see what doesn't, all while I'm sitting right here. And the last thing is it makes your day feel smoother. I love a smooth day. I love when I know exactly what I need to tackle, exactly what I need to do, and I don't feel overwhelmed. And I don't feel like I have so much, this endless list of tasks that I have to do. It's just not it for me. It clouds my brain, it clouds my judgment, and it just doesn't feel like a smooth day. Even if I get everything done, it'll feel like it was this rocky path until I was done with my day. And that's not for me. Not at all. Okay, so how can you start batching your tasks right now? I posted this on Instagram to get you started, but let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how you're going to start. Step 1, you're going to list out your tasks, and then you're going to put them into categories. So categories can be admin tasks, creative tasks, errands and appointments, chores and cleaning, and self-care and rest. Yes, you want to batch your cozy moments too. Once you have your weekly to-dos in all of those different categories, you are then going to assign dedicated days and or time blocks. So if you're a content creator, maybe Monday is for scheduling out your content, figuring out what you want to do, planning your day. Tuesday could be recording your content. Wednesday could be editing and scheduling it out. You could also do maybe your hard work, your deep work in the morning. So things that require a little bit more focus in the morning, because you know you work best in the morning. And then in the afternoon, do more of your creative stuff, like creating content. If you can't dedicate a full day to something, use timers and theme your days. So for instance, maybe you know you don't have that much time to record content. We're going to talk about content creators today. Say you don't have that much time to record content. So what you do is you set a timer for 25 minutes. And in those 25 minutes, you come up with as many content ideas as you can. And I'm not talking about like figuring out the reel, if you want it to be a reel with a voiceover or a reel with just music or whatever. You're not figuring that out. You're figuring out what type of content do you want to post. So for me, maybe I want to post about task batching and how rest is productive and how I started a business. And maybe those are the only 3 things I could come up with in 25 minutes. But for you, whatever number works for you is whatever works for you. It can be as many or as little as what can happen. You don't want to overdo it. Use 25 minutes to figure out what you want to create. And now, if 25 minutes is all you have, go on with the rest of your day. You now know you have X amount of ideas that the next time you're able to sit down and be creative, you have ideas already written out. And now that's the full fledging out. Is fledging a word? It's the full thing. You create the full reel. Now this is when the next time you sit down is when you're going to figure out when you want to post it, how you want to post it. Is it carousel? Is it a reel? Is it going on TikTok? Is it going on YouTube as well? That's when you're going to figure all that out. And the last thing is be flexible. Guys, our days aren't always going to be perfect. They're not always going to look the way we want them to look. This week has been off for me just because I'm recovering. And so I haven't been able to get up as early as I want to get up. I haven't been able to work as fast as I know I can usually work, but it's okay. It's being flexible, knowing my body needs rest, which is a great segue into what we're talking about next. So that is all I have for you for batching your tasks. I am so excited for you to get started and to realize how much extra time you actually have in a day just by doing this one little thing. Once you do it, let me know if it works for you. Let me know how you feel after you do it and everything. I want to know all the things. But we're now going to transition into why rest is productive, why you can say that you are being productive when you are resting. So let's start off with why we see rest as unproductive. I don't know when or where we were told that rest is laziness, rest is not good for us, that we have to be up, and that we have this hustle culture mindset where we just have to hustle our way through everything. I don't know where that came from, but I'm here to tell you that it's not true. Burnout does not come just from overworking, it comes from under resting. And I'm here to tell you in the coziest way possible that rest is productive, rest is necessary, and rest makes you better at everything that you do. And you can quote me on that. If you know anything about me, you know I'm a science girl. I honestly love science. I think that it is so cool. It shows how intricately our world is ran and how intricately we are created and everything is created. And I just think that it is so cool. I went to school for psychology, so all the brain stuff going on, I was so into it. But obviously that's not the path that I took. But yeah, I want to talk about the science of rest. And no, I don't have like all the resources right here, but I'm pretty sure that you can find most of these like studies on these types of things and like all the things. So the first thing is that your brain needs downtime. I'm just going to read right off my iPad here. So it says studies show that when we rest, our brain is actually doing important work like problem solving, processing emotions, and sparking creativity. If you've ever had a great idea in the shower or right before bed, it's because your brain is actually still working. It's doing its thing while you sleep, while you rest. So the second thing is that the more rest you get, the better focus you have. And before I get into more of this, when I say rest, this does not mean, I've said this before, but like knowing when you've rested enough to work and when you worked enough to rest is the perfect balance of what rest is. Rest is not just I don't feel like going to work today, so I'm going to call in sick and say that I can't make it so I can just, watch TV all day. Rest is something that is intentional and something that you do after working hard. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need days off. I remember when I was working my 9 to 5, my boss actually allowed us to use sick leave for mental health days to literally rest our brain. And we were doing a lot of extensive work. I actually worked as a digital engagement specialist, which is basically just somebody who monitors comments, somebody who responds to comments, somebody who is on all social media pages. That's what I was doing. And so doing a lot of that, you see a lot of negative comments, you see a lot of negative people, and it can mess with you. So even if it's not your stuff, it can mess with you. But I did not take advantage just because I wanted to watch TV all day. I don't say rest as an excuse to stop working, because I do believe that you should work hard and that there are times that you have to push through. But when you are able to rest, it is a wonderful, wonderful reward. More rest equals better focus. So when you push through exhaustion, your productivity actually drops. But when you rest, whether it's a full-on nap or just a few breaks, you can come back more focused and more efficient. So make sure that you're getting that rest, y'all. And the last thing that I have is sleep is a superpower. I personally am not somebody who likes to take naps during the day. I think sometimes that it is a waste of time. Only for me. I'm just I had my 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep last night, which is what I needed. Okay. And we have, after sleeping, you then have 14 hours left in the day. I want to use as much of that time as possible to be awake. That's just me. But I know, again, with the hustle culture thing, it's very much sleep is for the weak. And I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. Get a good night's rest and you'll be good to go. Sleep is definitely a superpower, but a lack of sleep leads to poor decision making, brain fog, and slower work. Meanwhile, people who prioritize sleep perform better, solve problems faster, and feel happier. This is scientific. I promise it's scientific. The last thing that I have for you is the different types of rest and how to incorporate them. Y'all thought I was just going to come up here and say, play a game, watch a TV show, make sure to get a nap in. I'm giving you all the things to make sure that you can be productive while you rest and outside of rest. Like I said, I need my iPad today because I haven't seen these notes. I'm dusting them off right now. Okay, so there's different types of rest and how to incorporate them. Rest isn't just sleep, y'all. Rest isn't just sleep. There's different types of rest and you probably need more than one. So let's get into them. Okay, so we have physical rest. This is the obvious one. It's sleep, naps, stretching, relaxing your body. That is physical rest. Mental rest would be taking breaks, journaling, doing an activity that doesn't require sleep or a nap, but it also doesn't require deep thinking. So for me, I really like to color while I watch a show. I also like to read because it's literally, my brain is just reading the words on the page and creating a story where I'm not thinking about anything outside of that. There's sensory rest, which is less screen time, dimming the light, silence, being in nature. This is actually a big one, especially for content creators, video editors, whoever, honestly, anybody. I feel like most jobs require you to be on the computer at some point. And so sometimes stepping away from the computer, stepping away from your phone, stepping away from indoor lighting can really help reset your brain. I love being outside. I made a TikTok about it the other day when I was not feeling well. I was actually right there on the cusp of feeling better. And I was I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go outside, and I sat on my back patio. I actually did that 2 days in a row because I truly believe being outside is the best medicine. And when it's cool and crisp and you're burning up, it just feels really good. The next type of rest is emotional rest. So this is stepping away from drama, setting boundaries, and processing emotions. I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't be led by our emotions, but we should process them. Just because pushing them down and saying that we're emotionless and don't have any isn't doing anybody in any good, it's just not doing anything. So just making sure that you're keeping your emotions in check and not acting out of your emotions, but you're able to feel them and process them. There's creative rest, which is letting your brain recharge by doing something fun with no pressure. And this is, again, coloring. This could be playing a game. I've been really into my phone games recently. Does anybody else remember when kids would be do you got any games on your phone? Me and my mom had we were at my brother's basketball practice one time, and one of his teammates like siblings came up to us and literally asked for our phones to play games. And I was like, sorry, kid, I do not have any games on my phone, which was not the truth. I was playing Temple Run like no other. Okay. And then the last one I have on here is social rest. And this one for introverts, as a homebody, as somebody who works from home, as somebody who is a solopreneur, I don't really need to take as many social rests as I think I do because I don't really ever see anybody. Unless like I'm going to church or my family comes or whatever, but I really am home most of the time. But for people that are working a 9 to 5 and go out, or you do just like to be around people, you're an extrovert, whatever, sometimes taking, a rest from being social and just taking time like to yourself is good. And then my notes says yes, even from the group chat. So like if you're texting a bunch of people, sometimes that to me can just be too much. So I will put my phone on do not disturb. Those are those different types. The ways that you can add these are scheduling rests like a task, and you're like, that's so weird, but it truly does help. You can also take real breaks. Scrolling on TikTok for an hour is not an actual break. It can honestly leave you feeling really overstimulated. And the last thing to actually add rest to your life is to listen to your body. There is a major difference between laziness and rest, and you don't want to push through exhaustion. You want to take time to rest. I'm not saying like in the middle of the day, get up and leave your job because you're feeling some type of way. But I mean, when you get home, if you had plans to like clean and to get stuff done at your house, like just take a moment, sit down, give yourself like a nice self-care bath and listen to some music and just rest. And don't push through the exhaustion because it's not going to help anybody really ever. It won't. So that is all I have for you. I'm so happy we have finished a Cozy Girls Guide to Productivity, y'all. I hope you guys feel productive. I hope that this year will be full of like a good work life and regular life balance, where you are feeling motivated while you're at work, but you're also feeling rested when you're not. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for where this is going to take us. And I'm so excited that we have hit 1K. And I'm so, so thankful. And it's so awesome to be able to actually like look at my YouTube and be like, wow, 1,000 people follow me on here and are like seeking advice from me. It's so cool. Anyways, if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because it lets me know that you like this type of content or if I should just move on. It also lets YouTube know that you like this type of content. And it will continue to show you not only me, but people like me. So make sure that you are engaging and pushing all the buttons here on YouTube and on Spotify and on Apple because we're on all of those. And let's see, I feel like I haven't done this in forever, so I'm trying to think of all the things. Oh, I have a Ko-fi page below where you can buy me a coffee. All the coffees help support this channel and this podcast 1000%, and I'm so thankful for those of you who choose to support it in that way. But I think that's it. So until next time, you guys, I will see you next week, and I can't wait. Bye, everybody.